Yours, damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you.
Girl, I said it last episode's review, baby, and I'll say it again. Somebody come get Ivory drunk ass up off this flow. Girl, she done fell about 15 times this episode. And I know, it's really not too much because I know she was drunk, but damn, girl, like... Okay, so Ivory and Dolly, obviously they fought. You know what I'm saying? Dolly did what she did to Ivory in the club after Ivory tried to put her hands around her neck. Dolly wasn't on that. So she ended up popping Ivory, girl. Ivory fell to the ground, girl. Ivory is mad, child, crashing the hell out for a long time until they finally get to the house. And that's where we live. That's where the episode starts and they get to fighting. Me personally, this fight was dookie. Garbage. Girl, please. Both of them were on the floor within like 10 seconds of the fight. It was a mess, girl. But I'm not gonna lie though, when Ivory took a tumble, baby, I was weak. Weak as the fuck, girl. It was funny. It was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, girl. She literally tumbled. Like rolled. Like, like no way. Like, but anyways, girl, I was not impressed with this. Like, I'm just like, girl, I just know y'all did not do all that just for y'all to do this. And it's like, I understand, okay, Ivory was obviously drunk, but it's like, girl, like, what is happening? It was a mess, okay? And after the first round, Bad Dolly runs away. Like, literally ran away. Like, not go off to the side and tell production, like, damn, my hand. Not go off to the side and tell production, get the medic, baby, because my hand is messed up. It wasn't none of that, baby. She literally ran and hid in the kitchen. She ran. Oh my God. I have never. Baby, I just seen a lot of shit in my day, baby, but I ain't never seen. Girl, she literally. Oh my God, girl. But her hand was hurt though. Like, but it's like, damn, girl. Anyways. So she ran away, and then she started going in the kitchen and started looking for a little stabby. Baby. Y'all know what I'm talking about, girl. She go in the kitchen, start looking for a knife, baby. The big K. We're not going to say the whole word. We're just going to say she went to go get the big K. Baby thought she was going to stab her up a little something. Baby, it's none of that. So anyways, girl, I'm just like, girl, why do you need the big K? What do you need the big K for? I'm confused. Girl, if you don't come back out here and run your fades. Run your fades. Now, this is my thing with the whole thing, and I might repeat this throughout the video because it was just like a thing for like the first half of the episode. I understand why Bad Dolly popped Ivory. I get it. Ivory been playing both sides. Ivory is definitely not neutral. Ivory was just coaching a hoe and trying to teach her how to beat you up and was cheering her on, but she's supposed to be cool with you. And y'all done made amends, and y'all been cordial. So you thinking like, ho, I know we're not the best of friends, but ho, you don't gotta coach nobody to beat me up, and you don't gotta cheer nobody on to beat on me. And you dissing me in a club, and like I said, to keep a long story short, Ivory is definitely playing both sides, and Ivory is not neutral. Okay, she claims that she's friends and that she's cool and cordial with Bad Dolly, but you in the same breath you're cheering somebody else on to whoop her and teaching and giving her pointers to whoop on Dolly. It just don't make no sense. So it's like, not only did you hop down and try to be cool with me knowing what you be doing, but you also try to put your hand around my neck. And she's saying like, ho, I'm not Natalie, and ho, I'm not Summer. I don't care what they let you do. Don't play with me like that. I completely get it 100%. I understand, and I still do. And I still stand on the fact that I understood why she was irritated and why she put her hands on Ivory. Okay? I do. But, baby, don't start no ish you cannot finish. You had your reasons. You did what you did. You put your hands on her, dropped her to the floor a little bit. Y'all ran that fade, and you ran in the house to go get the big K. What are you getting the big K for? What do you need weapons for? What do you need all that for? I'm confused as to why Bad Dolly was hiding out in the kitchen with the big K in her hand, trying to stab something up. Baby, nobody was trying to jump you. That's been you this entire time. Nobody's jumping you. Nobody's tag teaming you. I mean, they probably would have tag teamed your ass because you literally started mess with the entire house. So that's literally your fault. So, you know, they probably would have got your ass back to back. You know what I'm saying? You probably would have had to run multiple phases. But so what? They didn't jump you. You've been jumping people though. They haven't done half of the shit that you've been doing this entire time. So I'm confused as to why she ran away and got the big cat, acting as if somebody was jumping her or just doing her the worst way. Now, if that's the case, then I understand, baby. Get the big cat. I mean, don't get the big K, but I mean, like, if that's what you want to do because you feel like you're being done dirty and jumped and you know, ganged up on, then it's like, okay. But nobody was doing that to you. It was a one-on-one. And it was only one round. So I'm confused as to why you went to the kitchen and got the big K. I'm really confused. But like I was saying, let me go back to my first point. What I was trying to say is that I understood why she did what she did to Ivory. But don't start nothing you cannot finish. Baby, don't start nothing you can't finish, baby. If Ivory want to keep running that, I don't feel like she should have to wait. Because at the end of the day, you did what you did in the club. So run that. Like, what are we talking about? Like, but I mean, that was that. You know, Bad Dolly ran off, and you know, for a minute, Ivory was running around the house, screaming, crashing out, crying, mad, and still trying to find Bad Dolly so she could run that fade, girl. Bad Dolly was in the kitchen, girl, hiding out in the kitchen, girl, with the big cat in her hand, trying to do you know what. Okay, so in the midst of all of this, K Rican, baby, she attacks Summer in the hallway. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, baby, both of them was in there. I'm not gonna lie, girl. Summer has gotten, if you compare the way Summer used to get down last season versus now, Summer, you know what I'm saying, like Natalie be saying about Scotty, girl, Summer done learned a few things, girl. Not gonna lie. But they was in there though. But K Rican was cracking her with that purse. I'm not going to lie. So KK, you know, co-killer hoe, and Summer run it after KK calls her out. I'm not gonna lie, this tussle was cute. I feel like Summer was also in there too. Like I said, Summer is definitely getting better, and Summer and Lex is against all of these people, while Dolly is hiding out in the kitchen with weapons, child. Okay, and like I said, the whole first half, like, I know that Dolly, I don't know what was going on. Like, I don't know if she, like, I don't know, because I know Dolly is not scary, but it's like, bitch, like, why are you in the kitchen? Get in the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, baby, you did what you did. I understand why you did it, but it's like, now that you did it, you have to finish what you started. Like, you can't just sneak somebody in the club, drop them to their knees and drop them on their ass in the club, and then now that she's alert and ready for you, and y'all done ran the first round, now you just so ready, you in the kitchen. I'm confused. You did what you did, and now you gotta stand on that. And she definitely stood on it, baby, because they ran their second round. But I don't feel like it should have took that long. I don't feel like you should have ran to the kitchen and got the big K. I don't feel like you should have ran back out there with the big K and tried to do a little something over something that, baby, just stand on what you did. That's it. Girl, co-killer KK would not shut up the entire episode. And I'm just like it was cute at first, but I'm just like, damn. Like, you really don't shut up, do you? And like I said, baby, I feel like that bark don't match that bite. I feel like you should pipe down a little bit. You know what I think? I feel like you should pipe down a little bit, ma'am. You know, I feel like you're doing a lot. Ma'am. I don't know. She was doing a lot. But towards the end, though, I definitely understood why she was irritated, because it's like, ho, you're picking and choosing. No shade. Like, because if it was me, I understand why she was frustrated towards the end, but the beginning of the episode, baby, she was popping a lot, and she was popping it a lot, and I'm like, damn, girl, please hush. But I understood her frustration at a certain point, because it's like, damn, if it was me, y'all would have dragged me all up and down this house with no hesitation. Would have did me in, jumped me, tag team me, did all that. But now Ivory's out here, and you're taking your sweet ass time coming out the kitchen, protected, surrounded by security, PC'd up. So you know what I'm saying? It got to a point where I understood why KK was doing all that, because it's like, damn, if that was me, you would have been hopped on that. Big Midwest, bitch. Big Midwest, bitch. Da-da-da-da. You don't get no respect. Big Midwest. I'm just like, KK, girl, please. Anyways, I'm just like, girl, shut up. Anyways, so now Bad Dolly is crying. Natalie is in the kitchen and Bad Dolly is crying. Mind you, I have never seen Bad Dolly. I don't think I've seen Bad Dolly shed a tear ever on TV. Like Ivory, we see Ivory cry all the time when she's upset. We done seen Scotty cry. Who else, girl? We done, you know what I'm saying? We done seen our fair share of girls cry while on screen, especially when they're in the midst of all the chaos and they just fall and their adrenaline is pumping and they're, you know what I'm saying? It's a mess. I have never seen Bad Dolly cry. Baby, Bad Dolly was crying, baby. It's not funny. But I'm just like, damn. They got Bad Dolly in here crying. And she crying and she explaining herself to Natalie, saying like how she thought that her and Ivory was cool and she feel like Ivory be trying to play with her and this, that, and the third, and it's just chaos, girl. Ivory is still looking for her. It's a mess. Everybody's yelling. Scotty won't shut up. Scotty, that one little part where Ivory basically was demonstrating what happened and basically telling Summer like, you didn't do anything, Natalie didn't do anything, but you know, Bad Dolly, whatever, and she like choked Scotty for a little bit, and Scotty, you know, she come to her confessional and Ivory was like, she said Ivory a nigga, no, Scotty was like, Ivory a nigga and a bitch at the same time. Like, she said, I don't swing that way, but that part was cute and it was funny. But in the midst of all of this, during that scene, Scotty would not shut up. Like, I feel like Scotty be picking and like she'll say stuff and then play victim when somebody check her or want to fight her about it. Because why are you, and I don't know if she meant it like this, but like she was like in Big Lex's face and like not yelling, like again, like she's not coming at Big Lex, but it's like she's questioning Big Lex. And like, it's just like, ho, whatever question you have, ask Dolly. Ask Dolly. Why are you asking? Like, shut up. Anyways, I feel like Scotty just don't know how to mind her business. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So this is my thing with the big three, with Big Lex and Summer. Okay, I'm not calling Lex a punk ass hoe. I'm not calling Summer a punk ass hoe. But I'm confused because I feel like y'all fight for each other any other time. Y'all fight for each other any other time. For example, Bad Dolly just had Bad Dolly. Something is always wrong with Bad Dolly. We're just gonna put that out there. Something is always wrong with her, whether it's her eye, her hand, her foot. Girl, she's Miss Jellyfish. Something is always wrong with her. Okay, so it's like something is always wrong with her. So we have seen more than enough times that when she gets hurt, y'all getting to pay for her. You just did it, Big Lex. You just did it with Tavy. Dolly had one eye, baby Patchy the pirate. You know what I'm saying? She had one eye, and what did you do? You got in the paint with Tavy, whooped Tavy down, baby. Dropped Tavy to her knees, was getting her, whooped her down, walked her down multiple rounds. So I'm confused. Why you ain't get? Why if Bad Dolly is hiding out in the kitchen and her hand hurts or whatever, why y'all didn't take that fade for Bad Dolly? Confused. I'm confused. Y'all sitting there, Big Lex and Summer sitting there explaining themselves to Ivory. I feel like if that was Tavy, I'm just saying, I feel like if that was Tavy and Bad Dolly's hand was not, I feel like Big Lex would have got her. I feel like if that was KK or K-Rican or Fauna, I feel like they would have got her. I'm confused. I just don't know. Like, do y'all pick and choose when y'all want to stick up for each other? I'm just confused. Mind you, I like Big Lex, but I'm just confused because, like I said, baby, you was just in the paint. And like I said, me personally, and don't try to be like, oh, it's damned if she do, damned if she don't, because that's not true. Because when she ran that fade with Tavy about Bad Dolly and told Tavy, ho, her eye, she can't see, I'm gonna take that fade for my friend. I told y'all that I feel like Big Lex was real for that. Because in reality, and in real life, no, if somebody's, I would hope so, that if your friend cannot see out of one eye that you would take a fade for her. So I gave Big Lex her props for that, and I always give them their props because I feel like they stick by each other. I just don't like the jumping. But you know, they didn't jump Tavy. Big Lex simply just said her eye hurts, so what's up? Run that. I'm confused why the same energy wasn't applied here. The same pressure wasn't applied here. Baby Ivory sitting here screaming in y'all face and even put her hand around Summer's neck again to demonstrate it. And y'all are explaining yourselves to Ivory, and y'all not taking that fade for Dolly. Dolly had to come out the kitchen with her hand still messed up and had to run it again, and ended up hurting her hands even worse. Why y'all didn't? So you telling me that you'll take a fade for Dolly when she has one eye, but you won't take a fade for Dolly when she has one hand? Okay, I'm just saying. I feel like Big Three this episode, like I said, I know they're not scary. I know they're not scary. I know they're not the Big P. Baby, we all know what that means. Starts with a P, ends with a Y. I know they're not the Big P. I know they're not scary. But they went out picky choosy. And that's why KK was so mad. Because y'all would have... It just didn't make no sense to me. And like I said, they're the ones that set that standard. They're the ones, because they literally jump into each other's fight, even if it's like the dumbest reason and they don't need to jump in each other's fight. They still jump in each other's fights. But here Ivory is, I'm confused. Why you? I'm confused. How come y'all, I just want to know. Y'all jump into everything else. Y'all tag team everybody else. Y'all jump in every other fight. How come y'all didn't run it with Ivory when she was looking for y'all friend? Y'all explaining yourselves to Ivory while y'all friend got one hand. Y'all friend is literally working with one hand, and she still came out. She came out the kitchen. I'll give Dolly that too. I do feel like she was kind of ducking at first, and I feel like if Natalie wouldn't have pressed her a little bit, I feel like if they would have let Bad Dolly go to her room and not run no more fades for the rest of the night, I feel like Dolly would have took that. But, you know, Natalie was determined to make Bad Dolly stand on business. She said, baby, she out there out the door, ho. You gonna have to go through her, okay? You gonna have to. So I feel like if Natalie wouldn't have pressed her that much, she definitely would have just went to the room and went to bed and went to sleep without running another fade with Ivory. But she ended up coming out there and running her ones. If your friend is injured, and your friend has one hand, basically, and she why y'all didn't run that before she had to come out and fight for herself? I'm confused. Why? I don't want to say it because I don't want to call y'all scary. I don't want to call y'all scary because Big Lex done ran multiple rounds with Ivory. So it'll be delusional of me to say that she's scared of Ivory. Summer got in the paint with Ivory too. I don't want to call y'all scary, but y'all went out picky choosy, and I said what I said. And y'all are the ones that set that standard. Now, it's one thing if y'all never fought for each other while the other one was injured and couldn't really fight like that. But y'all set that standard. Y'all are the ones that put that out there like, hey, my friend is hurt. Ho, you're not about to do that to her while she's hurting. So what's up? Run that. So I'm confused as to why y'all didn't do it now. Okay, so we just gonna leave that alone. We gonna leave that alone. Okay, we gonna leave that alone. Because I know y'all gonna have y'all opinions. Y'all gonna have y'all reasons as to why they didn't help Bad Dolly. But again, any other time, they would have helped her. And y'all cannot deny that. Any other time, they would have helped her. I promise you, if it was Tavy, KK, K-Rican, if it was anybody else, they would have took that for Dolly. They probably would have jumped her. Not Big Legs, but like Summer and you know what I'm saying? Would have snuck, jumped all that. That's what she do. But she was not trying to take that fade for Dolly when it came to Ivory Child. She wasn't trying to. Okay, so DTB is mad because she feels like Bad Dolly is PC'd up, baby protective custody, and she feels like she's getting special privileges when every other person, whether they were hurt or not, still had to get out there and get up in there. Okay, but she like Bad Dolly hiding out in the kitchen. But KK, when she was running it with Tavy, somebody who's way bigger than her, and she was injured, she still had to keep going and going and going and going and going. So she yelling at Natalie like, you need to basically go get her up out that kitchen. Okay? And like I said, I understood why the girls were mad, but it got to a point where I was like, DTB, please shut up, girl. I said, all that yelling, they be yelling so much and they all yell on top of each other. So anyways, so Natalie ended up convincing Bad Dolly to come out. And I'm not gonna lie, I said what I said. I feel like Bad Dolly got that second round. I feel like she got that second round. I don't feel like Ivory won that second round at all. Bad Dolly ran up and went to work with one hand that was injured. Baby, I was definitely more impressed with Bad Dolly than I was with Ivory. Ivory did not win that at all. But I need to see what happens when Ivory's sober. That's when we could really get into it. But baby, Bad Dolly, baby, she came out the cut swinging. Girl, they both hit the floor, was still swinging on the floor, baby, to the point where Ivory had to, baby, take a little bite, baby. She was munching on Bad Dolly. Girl, so at this point, KK is wilding. And like I said, I understand this time why she's upset. Now she want to fight real bad. Okay? So the next day, the girls recap everything. The big three clocked it. I feel like everybody was really clocking each other, but the big three did clock it when they met up. Baby, I just wish that you guys were bold enough to say it to Ivory, because behind Ivory's back, y'all get to talking and y'all are steady saying that Ivory is not neutral. She already picked a side, this, that, and the third. But when Ivory was in y'all face yelling at y'all last night, y'all bitches was explaining yourselves to this hoe. Y'all wasn't on none of that. Y'all wasn't saying none of it. Nothing that you guys are saying in this thing. Y'all, again, they're clocking down. Because I feel like Ivory be playing both sides too. And this is not the first time. Ho, you was just grabbing all up on Tavy and putting her in a headlock and pinning her arm behind her back over KK. But then you were on Tavy when it came to Bad Dolly, trying to coach her and root for her and stuff like that. She's definitely not neutral and she's playing both sides, and it's whatever, right? So big three, the next day, they're clocking it. They all look cute, by the way. You know, they look good. Got the wigs done, whatever. They look good. They're clocking it. They're saying that Ivory's not neutral. She never was. She picked a side, and that's where she needs to stay. Okay, cool. So they're clocking it. But how come y'all didn't say that to her last night when y'all had the chance to say that to her? Nobody said nothing. Y'all were explaining yourselves to her and trying to calm her down. I'm confused. I don't know. Okay. They weren't wrong though. That's why I'm just like, why didn't y'all just say that to her? But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. I love that LCK and Choco are building this friendship and standing with each other. I feel like LCK definitely needs a real friend. You know, I feel like the friends that she picked at the beginning are not really her friends. Russian is not her friend. Was real quick to switch up on her and let the other girls put a battery in her back and to whoop on LCK. And then Tavy did the same thing. Popped her real quick. So I'm glad that Choco is sticking with LCK, and I love that for them. Who else? Who else, girl? A lot of the girls had scenes around this time. KK, K-Rican, and Fauna clocks the big three about picking and choosing. And I said what I said. Okay. Russian comes into the room with the big three and starts popping it about Ivory not being neutral. Now, you hoe, you really need to shut up. You really need to shut up. Now, this is what I'm talking about with Russian Cream. Russian Cream don't really have an issue with people. She don't really have an issue with nobody. So she can kind of like go and come and go as she pleases between each friend group, right? So when she does this, she gets to popping shit about the other person. Baby, shut up. We don't want to hear nothing from you. Yes, Ivory is definitely not neutral. We don't want to hear that from you, ho. Right message, wrong messenger. You would never step to her and say that to her face. You wouldn't. It is what it is. You're just saying that right now because you're all up on the big three and you want to be accepted by the big three because nobody else wants to be friends with your fake ass. That's just what it is. Okay? So, girl, they're about to go to the activity, and Summer and Pretty P, baby, they are downstairs and they end up getting into it. Pretty P attacks Summer out of nowhere. Me, personally, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. Let me think. And y'all know I love Pretty P down. I'm not mad at it because Summer did what she did to Pretty P towards the beginning of the season. Robbed her, took her, went in her purse, took her watch and threw her watch in the pool, broke it, whatever, right? You know, okay. So I feel like Pretty P has every right to be mad at Summer and to get in there with Summer. But if you felt like that, I just don't understand why you, like, I don't know. Like, you fought her that one time and then that was just that. You should have kept that energy throughout the entire season. And not just do it now out of nowhere. Like, and then she's like, you know, and it was funny, it was cute, you know what I'm saying? It was funny when she was like, you know, we was cool, but I don't want to be cool no more. I changed my mind. Like, you know, it was cute, it was funny, but it's like Bad Dolly said on the Sprinter, why would you ever be cool with somebody who did you like that for no reason? It should have been up and stuck the entire season. Not now out of nowhere. And I'm not mad at it, and it is what it is. But it should have been up and stuck. You should have been on her. Foot should have stayed on her neck throughout the entire season. It shouldn't have been y'all fought at the beginning when it happened. Y'all stopped getting into it. Y'all was not cool, but like not really like on that with each other. And then you attack her out of nowhere. Like, I don't know. That was just a little like, I'm confused. I feel like if you ask me, I feel like she probably did that because she condolences and RIP. I love me some Pretty P. You know, she going through a lot. I feel like maybe, I don't know if she like wanted like her spot to be secured when she came back on the show. I don't know if she like, I don't know what it was for, but I don't know. If somebody does that to me, I'm on their ass the entire season. Foot on neck the whole season. I'm not going to fight you that one time and then leave you alone the whole season and then out of nowhere attack you again out of nowhere when we haven't fought this entire time. Like, I was, you know, maybe she just like, I don't know. It was random. But I don't think Pretty P won either one of those rounds, me personally. I don't think she won any of them. I feel like Summer whooped her both rounds. Well, I mean, we don't have to say whooped, but I don't feel like she won. Summer got her both rounds, in my opinion. I still love you though, Pretty P. I still love you. RIP. It's forever you over Summer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know Pretty P is definitely my fave, but it's like, I gotta clock it. I gotta still talk about it. I feel like your foot should have been on her neck the whole time. You should have been on that hoe. That hoe literally took your personal belongings out of your purse and threw it in the water for nothing. Literally unprovoked. You did nothing to her to deserve anything like that. You should have been on her the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You know? Oh, I know what she's talking about. Okay, so after Pretty P was like, oh yeah, well, you know, I don't want to be cool no more. I changed my mind. And Bad Dolly and Summer was like, oh, we were never cool. What are you talking about? I think I know what Pretty P is talking about. So y'all remember that one time, it was like maybe like the second, third, fourth episode or whatever, where they were all outside wearing robes. This was when like KK got dropped to her knees and Bad Dolly was whooping her bad. Like, it was the day after Summer threw Pretty P's watch in the pond. Pretty P basically asked Summer, like, does she still need that? Like, is there still a problem? And Bad Dolly was like, oh, your last season. And they kind of left it at that, and they never bothered each other for the rest of the season. And even then, I said Pretty P should have never let up. You should have never let up. But she let up. That was that. They just left it at that, and they never bothered each other for the rest of the season. And I don't know. So again, it like, this was just random. It was random to me. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it, though. Okay, so they make it to the little ninja activity, and baby, Ivory is on that. She's on it. She's on that. She wants all that. She needs all that. Baby, she does not care that they are in public. She don't care that they're at an activity. As soon as she comes down them stairs, she sees Bad Dolly, calls Bad Dolly out. Bad Dolly is ducking. She don't want no smoke. She's still popping it about her hand. So again, I'm confused. As to why whenever it's anybody else, y'all jump in. Y'all either jump in or y'all take the fade, but nobody is taking the fade. And Ivory obviously wants to fight. So take that fade for y'all friend. Y'all take it. Y'all take the fade for her every other time. Any other time y'all take the fade for her, she's hurt again. Ivory is sober and Ivory wants to get in there. She's sober now. And Bad Dolly is hiding behind security. She don't want that. Okay? they sitting here talking and yelling. I'm just like, I'm confused, boo. I'm confused, girl. Dolly didn't want no smoke. She said her hand was hurt. I don't even know why Ivory is giving Dolly the time of day. I don't know why Ivory is giving Dolly grace when Dolly gave her none. And like I said, I understood Dolly's reasoning. But the shoe was now on the other foot. She had no problem attacking you when you were vulnerable and drunk. She had no problem doing that. I'm confused as to why you don't get this hoe with her. But now Dolly wants Ivory to spare her now that her hand is hurt. But you had no issue attacking her when she was also vulnerable and drunk. And I'm gonna keep saying this, I still understand, but I'm just saying, now that she was on the other foot and you want her to have grace for you now that you're vulnerable. I'm confused. But Ivory gave her grace, and I don't think they ran that. But I'm confused as to why Ivory gave her grace when Dolly gave her none. Should have ran up if you was that mad. Okay, they telling each other that they're playing it safe. And let me tell y'all how the big three, I'm saying the big three because they're a group together. But I'm really talking, in this instance, it was about Summer. So this entire time, we're like, how come y'all not taking a fade for Dolly? Why? She's obviously hurt, right? You know, y'all not taking a fade for her. But if it was anybody else, y'all would, right? So Ivory is still trying to get at Bad Dolly, calling her the big P, you know, calling her scary, telling her she PC'd up and playing it safe. And then, you know, Bad Dolly's still ducking. So KK gets in front of Ivory and she says, so run that with me. Because I know you want to, ho. Y'all hoes are picky choosy. I'm an easy target, so run that shit with me. And I think she did this to prove a point. And y'all are so picky choosy. Again, I'm saying y'all because they run together as a group. So picky choosy that you couldn't even help yourself and you ended up proving her point. Because, baby, within 2 seconds, Summer ran up on KK and that's where the episode ended. But you ain't want to literally proves her point. That was the entire reason why she stepped up. She stepped up to prove a point. Like, y'all are picky choosy. Y'all will attack me before y'all attack Ivory. And it literally happened. Ciao. Alright, y'all. I love y'all so much. And I'm gonna go. I'm out this hoe. Bye.